Hello, everybody. Welcome to my presentation. Today, I'm going to be talking about the wonderful and equally disturbing world of Siblicide in insects, and I'm going to be talking about the European earwig and two different species of parasitic wasps. You know, everybody's favorite of the arthropods. So, without further ado, let's get this rolling. So we're going to begin with sort of tying it into what we learned in class. What is Siblicide? Why commit it? Well, Siblicide, in just the general definition, is the act of killing one of your siblings. Simple as that. But in the world of behavioral ecology, there's multiple different reasons as to why you might do this. It could be to gain sexual dominance. Could be out of resource competition. It could be out of multiple different things. And you'll find with the insects that we're looking at today, there's going to be a bit of a focus on the resource competition part of that. As you can see right here, it's two different parasitic wasps mating. And, that's supposed to be some form of sexual dominance in that case. But yeah, before we get to the wasps, I would love to talk about our good friends, the earwigs. So, the European earwig won't commit Siblicide unless it's in the correct environmental conditions. Upon being hatched in a resource-heavy place, where resources are bountiful, you won't see them perform this behavior. And most of the time they'll just kind of go out on their own, and you can see all of them in their sort of nymphal stages. But if resources were to be low, then you start seeing, while they're in this nymph stage, some of the larger ones will start preying on some of the younger ones, and this is for direct sustenance, but also could tie into sort of a resource competition going on. Whereas if things are scarce, then you don't want to be competing with too many different earwigs. This brings us to our next slide. Is this Siblicide though? Because if multiple different eggs from multiple different mothers are born in a cluster, which in the case of earwigs is actually quite common, then why commit Siblicide right off the bat? Well, generally they won't. In a study conducted in 2010, they put earwig nymphs in an enclosed habitat, and they would study ones that were completely related, ones that were mostly related, and then ones that were, it was like a small group of ones that were unrelated from the related ones. And then they put one where all of them were unrelated. And, they kept this in a control group against one group with, a lot of resources within their cage. So, they studied these, and they found in the group where it was mixed, it was mostly related earwigs and then some unrelated. The unrelated ones would become, they would get devoured first out of the group. And this is probably to ensure, you keep up some indirect fitness. If you can get away with just killing, a couple of other earwigs in the group, why kill your siblings? Because that's not going to be helping you out. But if resources were still low and it was just siblings, they would also witness Siblicide going on during that. So that's why earwigs do it. It's all out of resource competition. But it could be slightly different in the case of our next insect, which is everybody's favorite parasitic wasp. And you can see in this picture right here, the eggs of the parasitic wasp all laid on top of a caterpillar. Very happy sight. So we're going to continue on. In a study in 2002, there were two different wasp species, one of which was communal, um, had a generally shorter lifespan, that, it was parasitic, and we're going to refer to that one as A. palipes. That's its ecological name. Whereas the other type of wasp, solitary, was usually on its own, and we're going to refer to that one as A. genevensis, its ecological name as well. And I should make it important at the beginning. Neither of these were eusocial wasps. The communal ones just generally lived in a group and around each other, whereas the other ones were completely solitary. And throughout this experiment, they wanted to see if a form of Siblicide would happen, upon hatching, for both of the different wasps. And you come to find out that there was a lot of Siblicide among the solitary wasp, A. genevensis, but there was practically none amongst the communal wasps. So the question is, why commit Siblicide in this case? Notice how I haven't brought up anything about just general resources yet. And in many cases, it could have to do with direct reproductive success. Again, since none of these are eusocial, there aren't specific rules as to who gets to breed and who doesn't. With the communal wasps, though, there could be a much higher chance that they have, indirect fitness increased by not eating their fellow sibling wasps. But since they also have a shorter longevity, they are almost immediately going for reproduction. Whereas for the solitary wasp, they had longer lifespans and generally had larger fat reserves on their body. So in order to maintain that and probably get the best spread of mates, they would commit Siblicide at an early age to reduce competition and ensure their own direct fitness. And of course, there's the general sustenance bonus that you get from eating some mates right upon birth. Don't recommend doing that, by the way. So in conclusion, there still seems to be a general trend among both of these. Definitely more so in this trend for the earwigs than it is for the wasps. But it does come down to resources and a sort of competition. The earwigs won't commit Siblicide unless there needs to be heavy competition, and you'll see the same thing in the differences between those wasps. If there isn't as much competition between the wasps, you can benefit a lot more from indirect fitness, then they'll go for that. In any other case, there's mate competition, and mates are a form of resource in this case. So that's sort of how Siblicide ties in to these insects.